What are you gonna do with that gun, boy? Huh? Huh? What are you gonna do with that gun? Yeah. Can I have it? Oh, I can. I didn't think I could actually take it. Okay, you can have it back. That's your gun. So this is Hellsweeper VR, and to be honest, I kind of can't wait until we stop putting VR in the name of VR titles, but regardless, this is a roguelike that I can see myself dumping a lot of hours into. At the beginning of each of your runs, you select your starter perks and abilities. My personal favorite is the Hellhound you get at level 2. And then let's go for the dog. You can assign each of your primary abilities to a direction, and then basically you wave your hand while holding grip in that direction to summon that ability. Some of the abilities can be combined to be used together, and one example of that is the fact that you can throw anything and your Hellhound will pick it up and potentially use it. At least he will pick it up if you don't throw it off the edge of the map. Once you have your abilities, you just step into this fiery circle, and that will move you on to Act 1. Now in each act you'll be given a different goal before you can move on, and this one I needed to kill 10 enemies, but you are also awarded for style points, which is where these flips come into play. The flips are so good. Now you absolutely do not need to flip, so if you're someone who's easily motion sick, you can totally skip out, but they also do have a lot of comfort settings, and there are also some other things you can do for style points like slides and wall runs. But if your VR legs are strong enough, I definitely recommend getting into the flips because they are stupidly fun. At the end of each of the acts, you will find yourself going around destroying these pedestals, looking for money to spend in the shops, or keys that you can use to unlock chests for further upgrading your abilities. Once you've got all the pedestals and chests, you're going to go to the Stone Fist to get your rewards for finishing the act. Okay, so we get swords for elimination, we can get damage for mystery, or we can get rock split. The upgrade you take from the fist also chooses your next act, which so far hasn't really impacted any of my decisions here. Let's increase damage. I feel like that's just a good idea. I wonder if I could throw a rock to my dog, though. The next act I got into is a puzzle act, which is a timed act where basically you have to run out and destroy these pillars until you get enough of the D20 looking things to put on all the pedestals and unlock an upgrade. Got a lot of time crunch here, buddy. Now, I think the way this works is the more of them you get, the more or better upgrades you will be offered. And since there is no fist offered on these levels, you definitely want to get these upgrades. But if you don't get them, you do still get to move on to the next act. So it's essentially just a wasted act. And when it comes to getting the rest of these pillars, basically all of them will drop keys if there is a chest available. And once all of the chests are open, no more keys will drop. So even if you haven't seen a chest or you think you've opened all of them, if you see a key on the ground, it means there is another chest somewhere. Health. Oh, will my dog use the gun? He carries it. I gotta give it to him before the enemies spawn, so he's not distracted. There you go. Doggy's got a gun. The dog definitely does use some items you can throw for it. I'm not sure if the gun is one of them, but it will use melee weapons, and you can give it a fireball, which I think just gives it like a fiery bite. I don't think I landed any of those shots. This is another one of the act types, which is basically just a timed survival. The enemies will keep spawning, and you just have to stay alive till the timer runs out. I'm a survivor, I'm a prepared. Sorry. On normal, most of the acts leading up to the first boss are pretty easy. In this one, I actually got kind of bored and just started unlocking chests while the enemies were still spawning. Dog, are you using that gun? You're doing so good, don't worry. The bad guys are gonna go away very soon. Yeah, see, they're gone. Bye. For this run, I really just set my focus on leveling up my Hellhound and my guns, which I'm not sure was a great idea, but it was what I was doing. Because I went with the Hellhound upgrade, this next act was random and ended up being another puzzle one, so we're just gonna go ahead and fast forward right through that. I don't know if these rewards are tuned to how you're playing, but I literally got the Hellhound and the guns, which is exactly what I was going for, so that was great. I decided to throw the Ricochet perk on my guns since I'm so bad at aiming. For now. So I just realized this far into the video that I've been calling each of these little levels acts, but the act is everything up to the first boss. So anyway, the objective type of this level is to destroy all of these totems to stop the enemies from spawning. And since footage of me just shooting totems is kind of boring, here are some flips. The flips really are just super satisfying, but let's get back to those totems, shall we? Excuse me, sir. And just like that, we are about to see what the last Stone Fist has before the Act 1 boss. What are we gonna get? At this point, it seemed more advantageous to upgrade my guns instead of my dog because bosses require some specific damage, and the dog's not necessarily gonna do that, I don't think. Okay, doggy, we can do it. I'm gonna give you a gun. I don't know if it helps. I'm giving you one anyway. So far, the two bosses I faced in this game feel pretty legit with some basic mechanics. On normal, the battles feel pretty tough, but once you understand the mechanics, they're relatively easy. Thankfully, the game gives you these little clue die to help give you a fighting chance. Also, as a pro tip, if you're playing co-op, you will each get your own clue here. Now, if you don't want any boss spoilers at all, you may want to stop watching the video here, but this first boss is pretty basic, so I can't imagine you'll feel robbed of anything. The biggest attack on this boss are the AoEs on the ground. They're pretty easy to dodge or dash out of. But the real secret to this boss is that the easiest way to get through its shield is just to throw stuff at it. And once those shields are down, you're pretty much free to deal as much damage as you can before it puts them back up. From there, it's pretty much just rinse and repeat while trying to avoid damage from all of his attacks. One thing I didn't try with these AoEs is it seems like you might be able to jump above them to avoid damage. Oh, jeez. But definitely don't forget to throw a bunch of cool flips in there, okay? It's very important. Now, there is a feeling that you get when you finish a good boss fight, and I gotta say, these bosses deliver on that feeling for me. It's just good stuff. Get away from me, bug. Good doggy. Good boy. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we did it. We did it. We did it. What now? Oh, jeez. Now, I don't know if this is what happens at the end of every act every time, but every time I've beaten a boss, I get to add a new blessing, so I'm assuming that's what happens at the end of every act every time.
The Hellsweeper returned from a successful sweep.
Yes, he did.
Recognizes your efforts.
Thanks for recognizing me. Level 3? Take me to level 3. What will I unlock? At level 2, I had unlocked the Hellhound, but level 3 was just a mana boost, some cosmetics, and the sandbox mode. So not really all that exciting for my current run. What are those rocks? This was my first experience with Act 2, and I was immediately met with rocks falling from the sky and a few new enemy types. So naturally, it was time to rack up some more style points. Things were looking pretty good for us in Act 2. Just me and my dog fighting hordes of demons the way the good Lord intended it to be. That is until I got down to this one last enemy and realized there's another wave. Not all of them? I styled as much as I could style, and I whittled down the wave of 20 until it was down to just one last demon. And then a rock fell next to me, and I died from the AoE damage.
Ununderstandable.
Who got me? Oh, man. I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, this game is too much fun.